This is Melissa Cole, Curator of the Oshawa Community Museum. Thank you for joining me today for a monthly podcast. While researching for our current exhibit, Mourning After, the Victorian Celebration of Death, I realized there was a difference between the terms coffin and casket. These terms are often used interchangeably to describe a box used to bury a dead body in. However, in North America, there is a difference. When discussing burial containers, there are dozens of terms that can be employed in a range of descriptive terms. It is important to use the correct terminology since different types of containers have different implications. In history, the difference between simple terms like coffin and casket can mean drastically different things when interpreting the date of the burial or cultural affiliations. Coffins and caskets are all similar in that they hold complete human remains, but different in construction, history, and purpose. A coffin is defined as a funerary box used for the display and containment of the dead for burial or cremation. The term was first used in English during the 14th century and stems from the Latin term coffinus, meaning basket. It refers specifically in North America tapered hexagonal or octagonal box that has an anthropoid shape to it. This means that the shape of the box conforms to a person's body. The lid is similar in shape and can be a solid piece or hinged at the top for viewing purposes. The fittings, such as handles and decorations, on the exterior are known as coffin furniture or jewelry, and can be useful in gaining information about dates of construction and the wealth of the individual. The material of the coffin is also revealing as it often varies with availability, wealth, and fashion. In Oshawa's Farewell Cemetery, wooden hexagonal coffins were used until approximately 1881, and that's when we see the shape of the coffin starting to change. The term casket was originally defined as a box for treasures or jewelry. The use of the word in reference to a burial container began during the rise of the undertaker trade in North America. During the 18th and 19th century, funeral directors and funerary trade rose in popularity. The introduction of caskets, being a rectangular box for viewing and burial, was done in order to ease the mourning process. The display of the dead within the casket appears more like a bed, and with embalming practices, gives the appearance of sleep. It was thought that the term casket was kinder and it would be less offensive to see the deceased in a box that does not resemble a dead body. Some felt that this change in burial container from coffin to casket was sheltering people from the reality of death. Nathaniel Hawthorne in 1863 stated caskets, a vile modern phase, which compels a person to shrink from the idea of being buried at all. Despite this, caskets are the most common Western form of burial container, unless one chooses to be cremated or a natural burial option. I feel it's interesting to note how the shift in terms is also associated with shifting relationships of the living to death. Over the past couple of centuries, there has been a strong shift away from death. While funerals used to be more visceral and people were exposed to death, now death is biological and not openly discussed. The desire to shield people from death is a new phenomenon. The change in terms and type of burial is reflected of this broader change. If you have not seen our latest exhibition, Mourning After, the Victorian Celebration of Death, I encourage you to come visit us in Lakeview Park at the lake in Oshawa before the exhibit closes on November 27, 2015. Thank you.